I work with a lot of business owners, and one of the questions I got a lot is, Marisa, I feel guilty about taking time off. And they want to know why they feel this way and what to actually do about it. So there's this really great concept from Dan Sullivan called the gap and the gain. So there's two ways to look at your progress in life and business. And the way that most of us look at it, because this is just our culture, this is just what we do, is that we look at where we want to go. And then we see the gap between where we are and where we want to go. But the problem with that is that you're never satisfied. The milepost keeps on changing. So you feel like you have to keep going and going and going and going, and it's never enough. And so you're down on yourself. You push yourself harder and harder, and yet you're never satisfied. That's what happens when you measure yourself based on the gap between where you are and where you want to go. But if instead you turn around and you measure yourself based on where you've come from, all of a sudden you're in the gain and you appreciate how far that you've come. And being in the gain is a daily practice where every single day, at the end of each day, you want to practice celebrating your top wins. I recommend practicing celebrating 3 specific wins that day. And the wins can be small. You can look for wins even when everything went wrong, everything went off the rails. Is there something you're still grateful for? Was there just something that made you smile? Did you have a good interaction with your partner or your kids? Did something like a good song come on and you had a moment of joy as you belted it out in the car? Whatever that is, look for the gain rather than the gap. And if you're looking for the gain, you feel like you win at the end of every day. So when it comes time to log off, whether you log off at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever that time is for you, you feel like you've won the day and you've earned that time off, because no matter what, no matter how gnarly the day was, you've won and you've made some kind of progress, or at least had a good experience along the way. So when you start looking at your life and your business from the perspective of the gain, and you celebrate that you're always growing, you're always evolving, you're always making forward progress, then you can start to rest and rejuvenate and take care of yourself. Another idea I love about this is from Haruki Murakami, who's my favorite author of all time. He's a Japanese novelist, and he wrote a whole book about writing, comparing writing to running. And he says that every single day he logs off when he still feels like he can keep writing. That way, he wakes up with energy to write. Because so often in our culture, we're taught bigger, better, faster, more, harder, push, push, go, go. And so we give every ounce that we have every single day. And then we start to work from deficit. We start to work from lack. And we don't take the time to nourish and nurture and replenish ourselves. And so that becomes a race to the bottom. And the more that we do it, the more guilty we are about really listening to our body and giving ourselves what it needs. And the truth is that this was a big problem for me. I am such a hard worker. I'm so driven. I'm so ambitious that I've continually overlooked my own needs, what my body needed, what I wanted. And it's like my needs had to be at the floor before I paid any attention. So I'm starting to prioritize me, my body, the things that bring me joy. Because the purpose of life, it's to explore, it's to experience, it's to evolve. And business is a part of that. But it's not all of that. So when you honor yourself, when you celebrate the small wins each and every day, when you listen to your body, when you prioritize your needs, all of a sudden, your North Star becomes sustainability. Not squeezing out every ounce of energy that you got, but how you can keep going day after day after day. How you can be all in, and then you can log off and be all in with whatever comes next in your evening. Whether that's friends, whether that's family, whether that's your partner, whether that's curling up with a book. You get to cherish that time and recognize you earned it. You deserved it. And when you start to do that, you rewire that mental dialogue so you no longer feel guilt. And instead, you recognize that this is part of what you need to sustain your big work in the world. And how you do business shifts away from pain and into gain. So that's why you might feel guilty around taking time off and what to do about it. You want to shift away from looking at the gap to looking at the gain. And you want to stop each day when you still have energy and fuel left so you can wake up the next day with more to give. All right, go ahead, leave me a comment, like, subscribe, and go out there, live your message.